I heard you play piano. I'm going to be playing with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. It's both an honor and a privilege to introduce a true hero of Israel and a symbol of courage, resilience, and leadership, Brigadier General Avigdor Kahalani. His distinguished military career spans decades of service in the IDF. He is perhaps best known for his extraordinary bravery during the Yom Kippur War of 1973, where he led a vastly outnumbered tank unit in the now legendary Battle of the Valley of the Tears. His leadership in that pivotal moment helped shape the course of history, and his valor earned him Israel's highest military decoration, the Medal of Valor. Beyond the battlefield, General Kahalani has continued to serve the nation as a member of the Knesset, he was a Minister of Internal Security, and a passionate advocate for veterans and national unity. He's one of the founders of the charity Together for Them, which supports wounded Israeli soldiers and serves as its international ambassador. Today, we are fortunate to hear from a man whose life story is a testament to unwavering commitment, moral strength, and the enduring spirit of Israel. Please join me in welcoming Brigadier General Avigdor Kahalani. Ayala, you want to start with the video?
I will start.
Yeah, we're going to start
Okay, so
with the video
turn off
first.
the light.
Lights.
בקרוב תזרח השמש, נדע ימים יפים מאלה, הלב נלחם בדאגות. כולם יחזרו הביתה, נחכה להם למטה, הלוואי נדע בשורות טובות. כי עם הנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו כשקשה לראות. כולם ביחד, אף אחד פה לא בודד, שישרף.
כשנפל האסימון, בואנה, איבדתי רגל. בואנה, אין לי את הרגל כל החיים. ולפני שנייה אני בחור צעיר, כל המעקרץ, משקלים ווסטים מציאות ועניינים, ופתאום אני שוכב במיטה, ואפילו לא יכול בעצמי ללכת לשירותים. זה אחד הרגעים הכי קשים שהיו בחיים.
For over 10 years, Together for Them has been helping these brave heroes to continue defending Israel without weapons in hand, lead and set an example to the public. Together for Them has been bringing these brave heroes to the United States, Mexico, and now England. They interact within communities for a closer connection with the State of Israel. They share their inspiring life journey of loyalty, responsibilities, and optimism.
כי אין לנו עוד מדינה, תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא עמדה אמונה. עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל חי, אור ארצי נחלתנו, לא תיפול כעת רוחנו, מסביב ברזל של חרבות. ויונה תפרוס כנפיים, התקווה בת שנות 2000, עוד נצא לשיר ברחובות. כי עם הנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו כשקשה לראות.
עכשיו ברגע שניגעתי פה, אתה במעקב אישי שלי. באמת השתתפתי קצת במעקב שלך פחות או יותר מהרגע שהוא נפטר. כן, נכון, אנחנו מדברים, אבל אני לא יודע לאיזה יום אני צריך לבוא באופן אישי ולחוץ לו את היד שהוא רץ, שהוא הולך, כל שנה. לא, אתם תגידו לי, אתם תגידו לי, אני לא ישן פה.
כולם ביחד, אף אחד פה לא בודד, שישרפו המלחמות, עם ישראל חי. אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים, עם ישראל חי.
I sold a 115mm look straight to my eyes and he was ready. This is some kind of a situation how we fought on the Golan Heights during the Yom Kippur.
יובל, אני חושב שאנחנו יכולים לזוז מפה. רעיון טוב, המפקד!
The battle for the Golan will ultimately come down to this final confrontation at a hilltop called Little Hermon, and the valley below it that will be known forever after as the Vale of Tears. If the Syrians make it past this point, nothing will stop them from storming across the Galilee, destroying Tiberias, Haifa, and ultimately Tel Aviv. Kahalani's remaining tanks have all taken Syrian hits. Many have lost commanders or whole crews. Command discipline is low. Morale is failing. Defeat is in the air. The scene that follows is reminiscent of young David in the Bible. Saul and the men of Israel were frozen in fear at the sight of the giant Goliath. Kahalani gives an order to his tank commanders to move forward. No one moves. He tries cajoling them, even starting forward himself. No other tank follows.
אני משתמש בנשק האחרון שאני מבין שאין לי כל דבר, ואני אומר ללוחמים שלי, תסתכלו על הסורים, תסתכלו איזה לוחמים טובים הם. מה קרה לנו? אנחנו יותר טובים מהם. תתחילו לנוע קדימה, הבאתי שאגה לתוך הרשת, מה אני לא מזהה בגדוד שלי? פחדנים!
Kahalani had faced death in 1967 and survived, just as David had once faced down a bear and a lion that attacked his sheep. With their common experience, and born on their shared faith in God to fight on their behalf, both young men refused to bow to fear. David stepped up to face Goliath. Kahalani ordered his tank to move forward. David had declared, "I come not with sword and shield, but in the name of the God of Israel." He carried only 5 stones into battle with his giant. Kahalani moves forward with only 7 tanks to face the massive Syrian armada. Kahalani's crippled tanks storm the hill before them, looking down at the once green valley, now blackened with the smoldering remains of hundreds of burning Syrian and Israeli tanks from 3 days of fierce fighting. Moving among them, hundreds of Syrian tanks continue their relentless advance. Kahalani orders his tanks to begin a barrage of gunfire on the advancing armada below, not expecting to stop them, but at least hoping to slow their advance long enough for reinforcements to arrive. Reinforcements don't come. But suddenly, to his amazement and without explanation, the Syrian seems struck with fear. The enemy armada begins retreating. Syrian soldiers begin running from the battlefield in all directions. Kahalani radios to Commander Janos.
Shalom. Shalom. When I say shalom, you said shalom Mafaked. Try again. Shalom. Okay, I'm very happy to be here. And Kahalani family, Carolina, my commander, her husband supports her. And of course, my wife and me, we are sleeping here for almost 5 days. And thank you, Jane, about everything. And of course, Ilan. And it's warm hospitality, we enjoy so much. And I can start and say, because you have to be proud, I'm Adani. I'm Yemenite, and you're Yemenite. And that's it. We knew about each other, but I don't see them. My father used to tell me that he has a close friend in the name Kahalani, Israel Kahalani and Moshe Kahalani. My father, his name Moshe. And he told me all the time, and I heard about it, but I found by mistake, because we met Carolina, she said, my husband is Avigdor. How come? Avigdor, same name. And yes, we found another Avigdor. Yesterday, the Shaliach blessed me here, and he said, Avigdor ben Moshe. And the God doesn't know who we mean. To Avigdor ben Moshe is here. And I believe he blessed him, not me. Now we have to do it again. The Ashkenazim said, Avigdor ben Sarah. Yeah, this is the system, the Ashkenazim system. But because ben Sarah is for sure. Ben Moshe, who knows? Okay, a little bit about my roots. Chernyakhovsky was a waiter in Israel. He said, "Ha'adam hu tavnit nof moladeto." The man that he grew up in the area, they say that there is influence on his life. My father, in 1925, he was a baby. He came from Aden. And a few years before that, my grandfather, Saadia Kahalani, he ran away from Tzana because he had two nieces, and their father was killed, and he took them to Aden to be safe because they want to make them Muslims. There he found my grandmother, and the name Shulamit, and they got married, and they moved to Israel in 1925. And they used to live in Machane Yosef. This is the house of my father, and my mother, she's from Siani family, and they came 3 years after that, and they used to live in Mis'edet Tzarum restaurant in Tel Aviv. This is the house of my grandmother. And my mother, she grew up there in this house in Tel Aviv. And the Mishpachat Siyani, this my father, my grandfather. And in Machaneh Yosef is close to Jaffa. And in 1929 we have what we call events me'oraot. It's like Intifada. They used to shoot every Jew in the street. And another thing, it was in 1936, and they started to shoot the house of my father. And they ran away like refugees, and they moved to Nes Ziona. Nes Ziona is a small town south of Tel Aviv, 20 kilometers, something like that. And my father grew up there with his family. And during the years, he was looking for a nice girl, and he used to come to the Kerem Atemadim in this area. Somebody look at the earphone. You have a message from the Syrian? I'm commander, I can see everybody. You watch TV now, you watch TV, we do a movie, something like that. You get the message from Syria that they are going to attack Israel. What? Be careful, I can see it. Even those who do it like that, I can see. I'm professional with that. Can I agree?
Yes.
Together? Yes? Do you remind me where I was?
Yeah, well, it's eager.
You forgot. Anyway. He was looking for a nice girl. He traveled to Tel Aviv and he found my mother. My mother's name is Sarah. They get married. And 9 months, no less than 1 hour, I was born. My birthday is, I'll try, some people, I told them that you are not allowed to answer. My birthday is 10 days after the D-Day. What is my age? 10 days after the D-Day. How old I am and when I was born. 10 days after the D-Day. Let's go to the D-Day. What is D-Day? It's come from here, D-Day. D-Day is from here.
June 16, 1944.
44, June 5th. Yeah. And I waited to see if everything is success. And I get out. I'm 81 now. Look good, yes? Yeah, because I'm elderly. This meant that he came late, he's Yemeni. He's from Yemen. Yeah.
I wouldn't tell him.
Yeah. And in 48, 14 of May, Ben-Gurion decided that we have a country. And this moment I remember, I was in a kindergarten. I used to go to the kindergarten every morning when I was 3 years old, 1.5 kilometers in Shuka Carmel, but all of them, they Arab people. And I was so scared, I was alone, walking 1.5 kilometers to the kindergarten, going back, and I was scared from the Arab, they maybe will kidnap. And this, I grew up with that, and you have a seat here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay with you. Yeah. And in 44 and 48, I saw all the neighbors. The neighbors is like here in the kindergarten, in the garden, 10 meters from my house. The kitchen was outside. The house was half from this bed Knesset. And they started to shut our home. And my father and his friend, they took the rifle and they shot them back. And I remember I was 4 years old, and I remember I have good memory. And I saw them put all the equipment and the clothes on the blanket. They closed it and they put it here, and they ran away to Gaza. Before they get a sign, we will come back to cut the truth. And they gave us a sign. I remember that. And my father and his friend, they burned all the neighborhood. And he went to fight in Jerusalem, near Jerusalem. He fought a year and near Jerusalem. When he came back, he came to me and said, oh, my son, I have a present for you. I said, which kind of present you give me? He said, from today you have homeland. From today we have a ceasefire. From today it's going to be quiet 40 years. Yeah, we have a joke in our country, just give us 2 weeks quiet. When he promised me that, he didn't know that he's going to fight again in 56 on Sinai. He didn't know that he's going to fight again in 67, and he found a tank block his road. And he said, oh, I'm sorry for the crew because the tank was on fire. He didn't know that I was there. He didn't know that he's going to fight in 69, 70 near the Suez Canal. And he didn't know when he gave me the present that he is going to fight with three children in 73. 2 of them didn't born when he fought already for the country. My brother, Emmanuel, and my Arnon, my brother Arnon. And one of them didn't come back. And I grew up in Nestiona, I studied in Nestiona. When I had to go to the high school, we didn't have money. That time we had to pay for the high school. And we found school in Jaffa, that you work 3 months and you study 3 months. And this is the way that I pay for the school.
3 months or 3 days?
3 months. And 3 months I will study. When I finish, when I graduate, all my crew, all my friends, they had one direction to be a maintenance guy in the tanks. But I didn't want to do it, of course. And I had a problem when they checked me in the Shkat Gius, what we call the place that we arrived to check us before we joined the army.
Absorption.
And again?
Absorption center.
Close. And when they asked me to check my body, and after they said we are going to know if you have any problem with it, to hear. And the man was behind me, he said, put the finger here, and he asked me questions. And the right side, I'm a deaf from 5 years old. I just hear on this side is for the glasses. I don't need that. Yeah. And I put the finger here, and he said 44, remember even the number. I said 44. And he said, move the finger to the left side, and I changed it, I put it behind the ear, and he didn't know that. And he said 33, and I said, get 33. They gave me a maximum medical, what is the number? 97, yeah? I was very handsome at that time. They sent me, I'm still handsome. They sent me to the pilot course. In the pilot course, they put earphone. Once they talk to the right side, once they talk to the left side. And they found that I belong to the left wing. And they kicked me out. And they asked me, are you going to be a fighter or will you be a mechanic? I said, no, fighter, of course. What would you like to do? Paratrooper. Okay. They gave me a red hat and everything. I was so proud. When we moved to the bus and the doctor said, come here. Take the shoes off. I said, what's the problem? Take the shoes off. I said, okay. And he found that I have flat feet. And I cannot be in infantry. He said, yeah, I don't know how the Polish sickness come to Yemenite house. Anyway, and they kicked me out. And I came to the officer and said, what would you like to do? Said, send me wherever you want. Just one request. Don't send me to the tank, I scared from tank. I said, no problem, go to the bus. I asked the driver where we are going. He said, you don't know? To the Armor Corps, to tank battalion. And I became tankist. I had the first part and the second part, a study about the tank. And there is a part, we have here tankist, there is a part when all the crew climb to the tanks and work together. It's the third part when you teach you. The first day, or maybe the second day, when we start in the Negev to operate the tank together, I get a lot of pain in my stomach, and they move me to the hospital, and they get out what something that we don't need, appendicitis. How we call it in English? Appendix. Yes, the same name. Yes. But he said, appendix, what is such a problem? You go in the morning, afternoon, you go to the work. Yes. I was in a hospital a year because it exploded. And a month in a home, in a hospital, a month at home. When I come back to my company, all my friends, they're fighters, finish everything, and they start to laugh about me. The jobnik is arrived. They put me in the store, Afsanot, I don't know how they, but warehouse storeroom. Yeah, and I couldn't go to continue to be tankist. It was a moment that they took from my company few people to go to be commander, tank commander, and my commanders told the company commander, send him to the course. He said, how come I send him to the course? He never touched a tank. No, he's a good guy. He was number one here, number one there. We want him. But if he never used a tank, he doesn't know how to operate tank. Anyway, the last moment they convinced him. And I went to the tank commander course and I graduated. Be humble, number one. I got a sergeant and everybody got a couple. And my father came to the Yemenite neighborhood in the Sierra, go like that. And instead of going, nobody asked him to pay. And he was so proud. All the neighborhood, Avigdor, Kahalani, broke the shield. And it was, this is what of course, if you're number one, they send me to the officers' schools. Officers' school, they send me. In Israel, officers' school, it's two parts. 3 months is generally that everybody should go, and 3 months it can be artillery, armor, infantry, or something like that, engineers, whatever. And I was in the course. I was very proud. After a month, they called me to the office of the commander, and because they want to check if I'm going to stay in the course. It was few officers asked me a question. They give an order that, order that, and I give. And after that, he said, one officer said, I would like to see what you have in your brain. Can you tell us how many countries in the South Africa Federation? Do you know? I didn't know. Okay, another question. Do you know who is the king of Yemen? Said, yes, my neighbor. Of course, my relative. I know that this time was Salah. By mistaking you. And another question, how many years the British was, I remember everything. The British was in Israel, it said 40 years. Wait outside. After 5 minutes, my commander get out, he smiled, kicked me out. Yeah. Said, why? Said, you cannot be officer. And the way to Armor Corps, I looked at the paper and it was written, this man doesn't have the ability to lead people and to be commander. And because of that, I was very angry because in the course, a month before that, for leadership, I got 100%. In 1 month, I lost everything. And something happened. When I came back to the Armor Corps, Dado was the chief of the Armor Corps, and 7 people with me, they not graduated, didn't finish, they kicked them out. And he called us to see what happened, and he gave me the rank and the big ceremony when I was there. And he asked me many questions. He said, David, what are you doing here? I said, I'm sorry. They kicked me out from there. You will listen to me. You will hear from me. I know the story behind my back, you know that. He went to Rabin, that he, few months before he became chief of staff. And both of them, they told me after that. And he said, look, I don't have officers. I said, what's the problem? They don't give them to finish the course, to graduate. I said, okay, send good people and they will graduate. So I sent the best. One of them is Kahalani, you don't know him. And I want him to go back, not to course, to the Bad Echad, what we call the general course, the second part, Armor Corps. Rabin said, it would never happen in our country. How will I send him? Everybody will attack me, what I'm doing. Maybe I give him special permission to go to the course that they kick me out from there. They asked me, I said, never I'm going to touch the land over there. And they argue between them. The last moment, Rabin said, you know what? Okay. They blame him in the army and said, what's going on? What you're doing? We create a system and now you broke all the system in Israel. He said, if he is not good, he will not finish. That's it. Okay, I started the new course with my friend in Armor Corps, and I was okay. A day before we graduate, I came to my commander and I said, sir, which rank to put for tomorrow morning for the ceremony? He said, are you stupid? Put second lieutenant. I said, I'm sorry, I don't have the first rank from the first course. He said, you ask stupid question, I can tell you, we talk about you this, we had a briefing before that, and most of the instructors, they asked me to give you number 1 and to be graduate number 1. And I say no. And I tell you why. You're going to be the highest degree, but not number 1. Because if I give you number 1, all the army will look that we have done it just to make them nervous. And because they're in the Armor Corps. Tomorrow morning, the music in the yard and everybody walk in the street, and my family in the first line, and then we are walking small. Before we arrive to the area of the ceremony, he said, stop, Kahalani outside. I came to my commander. He called me. I said, to take the rank? He said, yes. I told you yesterday. He said, I got older now, you cannot go with the rank. What you are going to give me 3 minutes from now is going to be the ceremony. And said, I give you substitute rank. It's a shame. It means that you couldn't graduate because your father was a close friend of the commander. They give you substitute rank. It's a shame. It looks a shame. And so I'm not going to use it. They pushed me to the ceremony. They give me the rank. 1 minute after that, I took the rank and I threw it away. And they came to me and said, Avigdor, what are you going to do? If you think that I'm a good tank commander, give me tank. I said, no, you're commander of 3 tanks. They give me 3 tanks. What about the rank? I don't need it. No, blah, 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 blah. Maybe go back to Badachadot because never. And now you think maybe my family behind me? No. My mother didn't know how to read and write. And even she grew up in Israel. She cleaned houses. Nobody was behind me, push me, tell me that they love me, and it's okay with you and everything, give me courage. No. And my father, he finished 3rd grade and he started to work with the Makolet. And they sent me to battalion. I was 9 months without rank, private soldiers, platoon leader. And my company was the best platoon, and they sent me to the north of the country to stop the Syrian, and they want to take the water from the Kinneret Lake, and the 3 rivers coming there, Dan, Bebanes, Chatzbani, and it was my mission, this my platoon when I was there. After 9 months, they gave me the rank. And why I'm telling you that? Because there is behind the story many things. But I can tell you a few things. One, I have, I don't know how to read books. I wrote 5, 6. The last one is about leadership. I teach leadership all over the world. Remember the reason they kicked me out? Doesn't have ability to lead people. And I have the 2 medals, the highest medal in Israel. Nobody has in Israel. It was one, he died. 2 highest medals. The first lines was written, this medal because of leadership, heroism, something like that. The reason they kicked me out from the course. What does it mean for us? If you believe about yourself, fight. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you believe about yourself. We have obstacles, many obstacles in our life, if you believe it. I decided, it was the last moment that we have a garage on my name in Estiona, and they asked me to go to Germany to study the petrol tank, and I couldn't even tell my father about it. And the last moment I told him, he said, whatever you want, go. And the garage was empty, that I was ready to stand army. 2 years after that, in 66, was we get married, Dalia and me. We have a strong marriage. Why? We get married in the top of the tank. Yeah, in the top of the tank. It's true. And now I'm going with you, 67. Are you tired? No. You want to rest? No. You want to eat? No. 67, you have after that examination. 67, 15 of May was Independence Day. We have a big parade in Tel Aviv. I was company commander, 14 rank, 1-4. And everybody was celebrate, Independence Day in Israel at that time was a big celebration. And suddenly I get a call said, Nasser, the president of Egypt, and he talked in the radio, tomorrow we are in Tel Aviv. Suddenly he moved all the forces from Cairo. We didn't have TV set in Israel at that time, maybe 2 or 3 people. We saw pictures they're crossing the Suez Canal and the way they're coming to the border. I took my jeep and I drove to Beersheba when I used to live there in that time, and I took the 14 tank. During the night I drove with 14 tank to stop them. And I stopped near Kibbutz, near Oz. You hear the name near Oz, of course, everybody heard the name. We start mobilization. Maybe 85 from the IDF. It's a reserve unit. We waited 3 weeks there. Wait till the moment they will attack us. And every day we listen in the radio, tomorrow we are in Tel Aviv. Tomorrow we are in Tel Aviv. And we wait, and the government couldn't make the right decision and to start the war. And we listened to the radio, and Eshkol, he was the prime minister, he talked, and suddenly his paper was falling down, and he didn't know what to say. And all the nation was listening, said, wow, what we are going to do now, the prime minister scared. And tomorrow morning, I saw a helicopter land close to my tank, and from the helicopter get out Eshkol and few officers around him, and they walked straight to my tank, under the net, and he came to me, and nobody told me that he's going to visit my tank or whatever. And he came to, and now I see if you know a little bit Yiddish. He said, by the way, my father used to speak Yiddish. I asked him, he studied, of course, in Tel Aviv. I asked him, why you study Yiddish? He said, know the enemy. And he came to me, and he said, Ingele. What is Ingele? Ingele. Ingele. Said, tell me, all the beitzim, you know what is beitzim? All the beitzim inside. Now, look, the prime minister stand close to me, ask me question about the beitzim. If you don't know what is beitzim in Hebrew, balls. And he asked me, all the balls is inside? What kind of answer? I didn't understand what he's asking about me. But he asking me. And Rabin, he said, he asked about ammunition. Prime Minister, all the balls, beitzim bifnim, and everybody was smiling. I gave the merchandise. I didn't know that because, anyway, now question. Which day we start the war?
6th of June.
You have, if somebody knows the answer, he doesn't have to pay in the synagogue for a month, okay? Agree? Yeah. Which day we start the war?
6th of June.
Who knows? Nobody knows?
5th of June.
Huh?
October.
5th of June, yes, you're right. But you don't pray. How you get the prize? No, but you don't have to pay. I saw you sit behind. 5th of June. 5th of June, the start of war. There is another one, 6th of June, that I was participating at with Lebanon. In the morning, it was now another question. What is the code name? Code name, they give you, when you hear the code, you start to move. Code name. You're allowed to open the cell phone to see what is the code name. If not, I will not continue. If somebody said, give me I see his hand, code name. No, let me see who's doing fast. No, my code name. Nah.
Balls, she said.
What is the code name? Sadin Adom. Sadin Adom. There is many books after the war called Sadin, is sheep, red sheep. When I hear this at 8 o'clock, Sadin Adom, I start to move and all my company behind me. I touch the fence of Nir Oz and I came close to the border. We didn't have any border. And I gave an order. This is 12 minutes before 9 o'clock, 5th of June. And this moment is a great moment for all of us. I give order to my soldier, and this moment I'm going to cross the border. And good luck to all of us. Usually the company commander doesn't go first. And he said, number one, behind me, pass me your tank and go inside. And the company commander should be 4th tank or something like that. I looked straight to his eyes and I couldn't give him an order. You know what you must see? I tell you. I saw a man that maybe I want to take his wife and I will send him to the front. Maybe he was killed. To whom I mean? Miseria. Huh? No? Again. I saw a man from the Bible. And I look to his face, and somebody, a king, sent him to the combat because he wants his woman. Who is it?
King David.
King David.
יפה. איך קראו לבעל של בת שבע? איך קראו לבעל של בת שבע? Nobody know? Computer. You're in synagogue. God wants you. Nobody remember? איך? אוריה החיתי. אוריה החיתי. He called him and he sent him to the combat. He wished that he would die. And all the problem that I couldn't give him an order because I didn't want Bathsheba. And I couldn't give him an order. And I decided to read the first time. I crossed the border on the way to Khan Yunis. And they hit my tank. I jumped to the second one. I took another tank and they hit my tank and I jumped to the third one. And I found myself on the first tank running in the main road of Khan Yunis. It's a huge, huge town. And he used to be a driver in my unit. Now he looking to see the
Somebody want to
Syrian.
come here, גרשון, הוא גם משלנו.
אתה רוצה לצאת החוצה?
לא יודע, אני לא עניתי לטלפון, אני מתקשר 3-4 פעמים.
ברגע שאתה מסתכל בטלפון, אני לא יכול לדבר.
סליחה, אני לא, אוקיי.
יש לי תסביך.
אוקיי,
בסדר?
נקבל את זה.
He used to be a driver in the Valley of the Tears. Tank driver. He Adani.
The only one.
יואב בלומן היה מפקד טנק שלי.
אני זוכר הכל. And I was in the main road in Khan Yunis. Now 3 divisions tried to fight them. I was alone with my company behind me. They shot me from all over. And I asked the people to shoot my tank just to protect me. I moved from there near the sea, and after that I taxied left to very famous town, Rafah. And I found myself in the Rafah, the first Israeli tank, behind me on a big column, 50 tanks. But all the fire concentrated to the first tank. And I get out from the town. It was very, very difficult. I'm not going to describe everything. על זה נאמר בעברית, לא מספיק שאיחרת, לא באת בזמן. She was sleeping. Am I right? היא הבת של אביגדור. See? Where I was, remember?
Very, very good.
And I didn't know how to get out. I didn't have any communication with the commander, battalion commander, and brigade. I was the chief of staff. And I feel so bad, I didn't know what to do to get out from the town. I found a way. All the tanks behind me, the leader lead all the tour, all the column, but the leader doesn't know where he is. And I walk all the way in the town, in a huge town. I didn't know how to get from the town outside of the town because I knew this is the main combat should be after the town. And we get out, and I saw hundreds tanks and Egyptian thousands. Then we start to shoot them, they start to shoot us, and we shot, they shot. It was the last moment I decided to move forward and to kill them. And in this moment I saw a picture. After 2 kilometers they ran away, and they took the boots off. They took the boots off, and this is the famous picture from the 67 war. The boots off. Many boots all over. Shoes. Describe the result of 67 war. You know, you should know the fact. From those days they call us imperialists. They blame us. I tell you a few facts. I sent Dalia to her parents in Jerusalem. I told her it's going to be a quiet place. The first shell in this war was close to her house. Yeah, from Jordanian. The little king, remember him? He decided to shoot Jerusalem, and the first shell close to her house. And we found ourselves, we didn't know that we are going to fight against Jordan. Jerusalem divided in 2 pieces, and they took 1 brigade from Sinai all the way, Mota brigade, all the way to Jerusalem, and they get the order to attack East Jerusalem. It's come from God. And they attack, and after 1 day, the quarter was in our hand, and it takes 2 days to invade Judea and Samaria. And we accomplished the mission near the Jordan River, near Jericho. Golan Heights, they used to shoot all the kibbutzim, near the kibbutzim and villages around, and they scream in the air at the government and said, please support us. We took 1 brigade from the middle Sinai, all the way to the north, 400 kilometers, tanks. They moved them to the north and the Golani brigade, and they invaded Golan Heights and accomplished the mission in the 1 day. For us, Golan Heights was like a muscle. Nobody can achieve the target over them. We finished the war after 6 days. 4 days, Suez Canal. It was amazing. It's unbelievable. And the result was, of course, all the world salute us. I continued to move all the time, and I was the first Israeli tank when I came close to El Arish. And my brigade commander and my battalion commander stopped my tank and said, Avigdor, go first to El Arish. I said, all right. I was the youngest company commander, lieutenant, and a major, another captains, whatever. I said, took a read? I said, yes. I was very proud that I'm going to be the first Israeli tank in El Arish, and all the way close to El Arish, I found myself in ambush. I didn't know that. Suddenly, it's a big hammer on my head. All the tanks start to be exploded, and I fall down and tried to get out from the church, and I couldn't. And I tried to scream and yell, and I didn't want to. My soldier listen to me, and I fall down. And again, I almost jump out, and I fall down. And I decided, I realized that there is no chance that I will jump out. And it was like happened to me in the Mediterranean Sea that I dropped. And this moment I start to scream. And I called to somebody. To whom I called?
Mom.
This one God in this moment is the mother. Said, Ima. She listened to me. Artinastiona. In the last moment, I jumped. I lay down and I pulled sand on my body and I closed the fire. 7 hours to take me to the hospital. I came to the hospital and the doctor said 60% third degree. I didn't know, I didn't realize what is that. After a week, my parents, Dalia came, and they said, I saw them crying. I didn't tell them, somebody told me. And I didn't know why. The doctor said, there is no chance that he survived, but if he will be strong, maybe yes. 60% we don't know how to cover his skin from I have to take skin from himself to cover his body. We have experience for 20-25%, no more than that. After a month, I knew that my deputy commander was killed. He was in my tank. I was in his tank because I jumped 3 times. And the loader was killed. My gunner was closest to me, and I didn't recognize him because all the face wasn't burned. After a year, I decided to go back. And they said, asked me what's going on with you, what you're going to do. I said, I'm going back. I had to, they gave me a year to study because I wasn't able to do. And I found myself after that, again on tank. And I had a dream to jump from airplane. You remember? I had a dream. But I couldn't go to tell Nov this is the base to jump. Somebody gave me a permission to go to the course. But my profile was 21st, and I'm not allowed to do it. I took the paper, I cleaned it up, I wrote 97, yeah. And I went to the course and I jumped, instead of 3 or 4, I jumped 12 times. Yeah, and I became. Now we're going to another war. Are you tired? No. You on vacation? No. Okay. Of course we are not tired. I'm standing. I'm talking. That's the big show. Yeah.
Would you like a drink?
Water. Yeah. יודע צדיק, איך ההמשך? מה אתה לא יודע? יודע צדיק, מי יכול להמשיך פה? כל הרבנים הגדולים. יודע צדיק, מי יכול להמשיך את המשפט? מה, לא יודעים? יודע צדיק נפש בהמתו. נפש בהמתו, כלומר, המבין, שמישהו, הבנת שאני רוצה לשתות, אז אני אומר, יודע צדיק, נפש בהמתו. אני לא בהמה, אז אומרים בעדינות, בהמייתו. מה זה המיה? המיה זה הקול שלו, חצי בכי. אמרתי לו, אני לומד אתכם תנ"ך. אני לומד אתכם תנ"ך, אני אלוף בתנ"ך. נפש יודע צדיק, תזכרו, אחר כך תצאו בקומפיוטר, נפש בהמתו. כלומר, צדיק יודע מה הבהמה שלו צריכה, היא צריכה לאכול, צריכה לשתות וזה. אבל לא אומרים בהמתו כי זה לא יפה, אז אומרים בהמייתו. המיה זה כאילו חצי בכי, אוקיי? אפשר להמשיך? Yes? יום כיפור. יום כיפור is everybody talk about Yom Kippur surprise. It's not surprise. Not surprise. I was battalion commander. The name is Oz 77. Courage. Oz is courage 77 in brigade 7, number 7. We were located very far away on Sinai. And usually I used to go home maybe once a week or once or 2 weeks. God bless you. And Rosh Hashanah, on this day, was in Wednesday. And I came a day before because my brother Emmanuel get married. And we celebrate all the night. A day after that, we have 4-day vacation. I decided to stay at home. I had a house without roof. I fixed everything myself. I've done it myself, alone. And I decided to stay home, it's a holiday. And in the morning, when I was on the roof, trying to cover the roof, my commander called, and Dali gave me the phone. He said, Avigdor, where you are? I said, on my roof. He said, ממתי אתה כנר על הגג? You didn't understand that. ממתי אתה כנר על הגג? איך אומרים כנר? And he said, we send many airplanes to Sinai to bring you. You've been in the first airplane?
Yeah. Half of us was on holiday.
Yeah. You were the first time?
I was the first one.
The first one. And put all the crew on the airplane, move them to the Golan Heights, and you will get tanks, new tanks, and be ready for war. 10 days before the war started, we brought 44 tanks. Two of them, two companies, a day after, it doesn't matter. 44 tanks from Sinai to the Golan Heights because it's going to be a war.
לא קיבלנו טנקים מרמת דוד, אם אתה זוכר?
לא. פילון ומחנה ירדן. And I organized the battalion, and the man that he all his life in the desert doesn't know Golan Heights. Golan Heights is like Switzerland. It's completely different. A lot of stone, and you have to study the area, whatever. And we start to study the area and be ready for the war. And I was in the center of the Golan Heights, ready to go to the north, to the south, everything, every mission. A night before Yom Shishi night, where I sitting with the brigade commander, his name, he passed away, Janusz Ben-Gal. He told me, look, this hour, the Russian people in Damascus and Cairo, they are running away. All the officers are running away. It's a sign, they're scared. It's tomorrow, maybe the war. Why we don't start mobilization? Then somebody in Tel Aviv argued between Golda, Dayan, and Dado. And they didn't make the decision and said, we will meet each other tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning he came to me and said, today the war, at 10 o'clock. I ran to a synagogue. We built between the tanks, Avigdor.
כן, הייתי שם, לא רציתי לצאת, ורק כשאתה באת.
כן. I ran, it was a synagogue, a small building, so I put network above that, and the people, the soldier was praying. And I talked to them and I said, today is the war. I knew about 6 o'clock. I told them 12 o'clock, be ready in the tank, and I will call you and listen to the voice. Before I left, I said, oh, I forgot something. You go to eat. And all of them, they smile, the Orthodox people. And the commander gave order to eat in Yom Kippur. And I had an apple in my pocket. I take it out and I say, look at me. I'm from 10 years old, starving in Yom Kippur and pray, of course. I can tell you that my father told me that time, you cannot do it, you cannot do it. I show him and I got the prize. And I start to eat the apple and say, if I can eat, you can eat. And they ran to the tank. The war started at 2 o'clock afternoon. Golan Heights is that 20 kilometers wide and 90 kilometers long. Most of the Golan Heights is stone area. You have to go between the stone. It's very complicated. And in the first moment, they sent one brigade to the south, one brigade to the center, the 7th brigade, and the Hermon Mountain. This is the hardest bunkers in the world at that time. And the Syrians start to move to our border, and we start to shoot them. And suddenly I realized they have a better tank than us. They have, the tank is very small, 2 meters in 20 centimeters. Our tank is 3 meters. I had British tank at that time, Centurion, and 3 meters and above the 20 centimeters. They came with some tanks with camouflage color, and you couldn't identify them. They have every tank infrared system. They have a special projector in the front. You put light on your face and you don't know that the gunner can see you and he shot. And they had the TV-62, and this is a tank, can shoot 4 kilometers without any problem, 115 millimeter gun, and this is, we had to fight against them. And we found ourselves fighting against them in the dark, and during the night, they hit many of my tanks.
I was the first tank to be hit.
Yeah. He was the first tank to get the shell from them. And I had problem how to lead the battalion. I'm doing this short. And I give order to shoot the valley of the tears during the night to give them the feeling that all the army waiting for them. Even we don't see the target, because the gunner couldn't see. It was a long night. It was a moment that when I was in a fire position, I saw 5 meters beside my tank, a tank coming close to me, and he using the light and go back and forward, back, and I was very angry, and I told the company commander, this tank will be shoot about the enemy immediately. And they said, we don't know, we don't control all the tanks. I put lights in this tank, and I saw T-55 Syrian adopt me like I'm his commander, 5 meters beside of me. I don't know, you English. Adani, very gentle. Yeah, and I don't know what I put the gun, I shot him. When he was on fire, I saw another tank 7 meters beside him, and I shot him too. I remember the second more than the first, because I saw the commander try to jump out in the middle of the fire, and I saw myself. And all the time I thought I have a post-trauma, but I couldn't talk about that. And I didn't say to whom I said that maybe I have a post-trauma because I was a year in the hospital. And even my wife, my friend, I've never talked about it. And I couldn't move and I couldn't talk. And I pushed my face and I continued to operate the tank. In the morning we saw this stuff. I saw around 130 tanks. We've been there like at 12, 13, and they come and they shot us from all over. And most of my commanders were killed. If tank in a good position and fire, then just the main gun can see the enemy. And when they shoot, they cut the commander, and they kill the commanders. 90% of the soldiers were killed in Yom Kippur War in the 77 Battalion are the commander. Company commander, platoon leaders, deputy platoon, and tank commander. 90% because they shot and they killed them in the fire
Their
position.
body, half of their body were
Yeah.
out, not like now.
And we stopped them. But in the south of Golan Heights, it was another brigade. They fought like lions, but they couldn't stop them. The brigade commander, full colonel, were killed. His deputy was killed. And they moved to the Golan Heights 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers, they moved to Golan Heights invasion. Hermon Mountains, this is the highest and strongest bunker in the world. And they came by helicopter and they invaded this bunker and they found all the code map, all the triggers in the radio, some intelligent people, they knew about us, everything. And on the top of the mountain is 2 kilometers high, they can see all the height. This was the result after less than 24 hours. In our aircraft, we lost 25 aircraft above us. It's not like today, and every missile that we saw, they killed aircraft. And it was a moment that 3 aircraft bombed my tank. One of them make a hole, one of them touched my tank, another one come close to me, in the front of me, I shot him, and he was behind me. He took a round, he came with the bombs like a half ton, and he threw on my tank. And the last moment, my officer that the G3 operation, he saw the bomb coming behind us, and he gave me a box. He saved my life. Because in this moment, he saw the bomb come to us, and the bomb exploded 3 meters behind the tank. I jumped inside, and the tank moved like 3-4 meters in front. And when I get out to look what happened, I couldn't even talk at this moment, and I saw all the commanders beside me were killed. It's aircraft, artillery shell, thousands of artillery shell was shot. And Monday, we fought all the time. Monday I looked to Damascus direction and I saw a few hundred tanks running to our area. I said, wow, how I can stop them? And they came close to us, 4 kilometers and stopped. And they wait, and I wait, I look at them, what they're going to do. Suddenly they start to move, to come behind us. I took half of my battalion, I ran 7 kilometers south, and I stopped them. Not because I hit the target. No, they stop, they wait for Tuesday morning. All the night I was with 7 tanks on the side. Somebody else take my place with my tank, my close friend of mine, Yos. And all the night they came with the bomb and the bomb all the area, and I realized that tomorrow morning they are going to attack us. In the morning, my commander said, start to withdraw. And those in the valley of the hills, this is the hills, and this is the valley, this is the border, 3 kilometers. And those tanks here, it belong to me, but another commander start to withdraw 4 kilometers back. And I came with the 7 tank from another area, and I hold the second line, and I was waiting to see the tanks coming to me. When I was immediately, I saw 8 helicopters coming straight to my face. I tried to shoot them, I couldn't, and they landed behind me with the commando. And now you realize what happened. Behind me, the commander closed the main road that we cannot evacuate our casualties to the hospital. We cannot bring our ammunition and gas behind us to it because the commando closed the road. And many aircraft above us, artillery shell, and Israeli tank running away from there. This is the situation. And it was, we saw this is gonna be the end of all of us. And it was after an hour, I wait to see they are coming, and my commander called me and said, Avigdor, I changed my money. I changed my mind. Move from the second side, 4 kilometers behind, move forward 4 kilometers to the valley of the seals, and try to block them. You know the area very well. And I said, okay. I told the commander, don't move with the 7th tank, and I'm going alone. I start to go alone, and he called me, he said, Avigdor, by the way, how many tanks do you have? And I know the Syrian listened to my voice, and I couldn't say. And I said, now you have another question, be ready, be ready. I said to my commander, I'm gonna give you a message, Lashon Sagi Nahor. What is that? Lashon Sagi Nahor. Lashon Sagi Nahor. No problem. When you give a lesson here after that parasha, to teach us. Lashon Sagi Nahor. We have been in Bavel 70 years. In Bavel is Iraq. In Iraq we talk Aramit. This is for Carolina. Aramit. No Aravit, in Aramit. Sound you well? In Aramit, this is the language. The Jewish people used to talk there. 70 years we've been there. Aramit, Lashon Sagi Nahor is opposite. I'm going to line you. So this is Avigdor here. I'm going to give you a message in Lashon Sagi Nahor. Said when I start again. Here is Avigdor. I have with me 40 tank 40. Oh no, I got another one, 41, and I'm in my way to block them. I was alone with my tank, but it sounded well. And I start to move, and I saw on the top of the hill the Syrian waiting for me already. And I said, I'm going this way. From the left side, I come to surprise them with my tank. I found 4 tanks in the front of me, close to the hill that I was there, and in the front, 25 kilometers, twice of the synagogue. And I saw the faces of the commander of the tank look straight to my eyes. I was alone, and they were 4. I shot all of them, but I couldn't talk after that. And my commander called me, Avigdor, what do you think? Can we block them? I couldn't even give you an answer. He said, you're in charge.
But one of the shooting, the shell is stuck.
Yeah. You're in charge. I'm not tell all the details because they're tired, they're hungry. And I couldn't even talk after that. And he said, you're in charge. And I move all the way this way. This is the hill over here, and the valley of tears here. I come this way. If you've been in the valley of tears, that's there. And I was alone on the hill, and I saw all the tanks crossing the border. I can imagine that around 160 tanks arrive. If they climb to the mountain here, they will run to the Galilee. And I was alone, and 8 tanks close to my tank was in the valley, small valley. I shot all of them, 8 or 10, I don't know. I shot all of them, and I called my commander. I told him, there is every tank that you have, send me to support the idea. He took a battalion, started 36 tanks, had 8 tanks left, and he called them from the north, and they sent them to support me. The commander came close to me. You remember the company commander sent me to the commander course? Remember I talked about yesterday about it? Remember? The commander was close to me. He was a company battalion commander. He said, Avigdor, sir, I'm ready to do whatever. What is my mission? I couldn't even give order because he used to be my commander. I said, I recommend to you stay here and I have to run. And he moved forward, he was killed. 5 tanks was in the fire. And I didn't know what to do because all the counterattack and all those tanks came to support me. And all of them, they killed. And one tank came to me and said, sir, I'm ready to support, blah, 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 blah. I called him, I said, stay here, don't move. You see the valley in the front of you. And if you see tank, shoot him. And I'm going to around to bring the tank and to go forward. And he said, yes, sir. When I move, he said, sir, I'm sorry. He said, what happened to you? He said, I'm out of ammunition. The Syrians don't know that. And stay there, he shot with the machine gun. And I moved all the way kilometer back, and between the 2 hills, I found the 7 tank that I had, maybe 2-3 tanks more. And I have 2 options. One to go back to the hills 4 kilometers back, or to go forward. And I was the only person in the world that I knew what's going on in the valley. And I decided to go forward and to try to be back in the hills. I give order and nobody moved. I give order, nobody moved. At the last moment I realized maybe they don't listen to me because I have a discipline in my unit. And I told them to change the radio and all of them in my radio. They can listen to my voice. And they start to move, and I pray to the God, please, 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 the hills are 800 meters in the front, please give me to be before all those 160 tanks arrived. And we arrived, the valley was dark, and I told them, shoot whatever you want, and just those tanks can maneuver. From the south come my close friend with 11 tank with another brigade, Kahalani, and we shot like crazy. I think my tank, they killed more than 25 tanks maybe. And the end of this combat was quiet. A lot of fire tanks, many soldiers running between the soldiers to Damascus if they survived. And I tried to count the tanks, said, they promised us every tank that we will shoot, we get a box of champagne. And wow, we need a lot of crack for the champagne. And I couldn't. After the war meant that he collects all the tanks from the valley, he said, I collect more than 250 tanks and another 50 vehicles. 2 days after that, we moved to Damascus, and the last day, Golani Brigade had they got a mission to invade to the Hermon. They lost 65 soldiers during the night. In the morning, I saw the 2 flags, Israel and the Golani flag on the top. I had tears in my eyes. I was very proud to see them. 1 o'clock, the Syrian asked ceasefire. At night, they sent another battalion to take me out. It took me a few hours until we get. I found all the tank. When I arrived to the Golan Heights, my commander said, come here, come here, come here. I said, no, I didn't. All my tanks disappeared all over the area, and I couldn't. When I arrived, 1 o'clock in the night, after the midnight, I fall down with my tank in a big hole, and come from aeroplane, and almost destroyed all of what we had. And the moment I jumped to the jeep, and Janusz, my commander, I said, I didn't know what was he so hurry. I said, go home. I said, what happened? He said, your brother was killed. I said, which one? He said, Emmanuel. Maybe you don't know, but I have a brother in my unit. Do you know that? I said, yes, of course. We sent him 8 days before home, and nobody knows. Even your crew knows. All the battalion, just you don't know, and I'm sorry, I couldn't move you back because your deputy is wounded in the hospital. Before I realized, he said, and your brother of your wife was killed. Her brother is Ilan Shmaya from Jerusalem, and for her, the second brother. We lost it in this war 2,654 soldiers and 7,000 badly wounded. Small story, and I finish. After the war, I was the 7th commander, the 7th Brigade. The commander, I was division commander in Golan Heights. I was actually commander of Golan Heights. With my division, I fought and I arrived to Beirut. I was the commander. And I have a lot of experience, of course. 2 years after the war, came to me a tank commander. He visited in Golan Heights and he came to my office. And he asked the soldier, like the secretary, can I speak with Avigdor? He said, yes, of course. And he came to my office and we talked. He was tank commander at that time, and in the war. He said, and we talked about the war, and he said, Avigdor, I would like to apologize. I said, what for? He said, do you remember that you call us to move forward, and nobody moved? And I said, yes, of course I remember. I was behind your tank, 200 meters. I listened to your voice. I saw you with the flag. I saw number 10 on your tank. And, Avigdor, Vargomrim. I saw you in tank, and I didn't join you. I said, why? I said, I couldn't give orders. I was so scared, and all my body was shaking. But believe me, I didn't run away. I was there, but I didn't join you. I said, okay, what happened after that? He then said, I listened to your voice, and it was the last moment that I couldn't move them forward. I called them MIC chicken in my unit. Joined me. And they started to move. He said, I listened to your voice, and suddenly you call me chicken. I thought I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. And I give order to my driver to move forward. And I was beside your tank, and we killed all of them. This is the secret weapon in our country. This is the man. No tank, no aircraft, no ship, whatever. The man and the spirit, the value of our education system. It's come from generation to generation. Now the last question, and I leave you to eat. Who said, דור הולך ודור בא והארץ לעולם עומד?
You said.
Huh?
You said.
I copied that. Kohelet. Kohelet, King Solomon. דור הולך, one generation go, one generation come, Elisha, and what is the second one? He's not here. No, Elisha. And one generation come, and the land forever will stay. It means we protect the country from generation to generation. This is the system in our country. And depend on the people, not the tank. The tank is not going to win. The man behind the shield, he is going to win.
Absolutely.
And a few hours from now, I'll be in an airplane back to Israel. And I said, I enjoy very much to be here. I found a nice community, nice people, and maybe I will come very often, every week. I will come and stay here because God bless you. Thank you very much. I found a unique experience for my wife and me, and particularly to those couple, Ilan and Jane. That they lost a lot of money in 4 days that I'm here.
He's a rich man.
Thank you very much. And see you.
סליחה.
Thank you, Avigdor. On behalf of all of us, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for your inspiring and deeply moving story and presentation this afternoon. Your message serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of unity and support for those who have sacrificed so much. I remind you of his charitable foundation that he continues to support, that makes a meaningful difference to the lives of the veterans, the wounded, and soldiers and their families. So let's not forget that they need our support, and I encourage everyone to consider supporting this very important cause. Contributions can be made by cash. You've got some envelopes on the chair, a credit card, I think there's a machine you can use, or later on, if you do not come prepared, you can do so online. Every support is needed and greatly appreciated. Everyone is invited for refreshments. I think it will be outside if it doesn't rain. If not, we'll have to rearrange the place here, so just bear with us. And one last thing, can I ask everyone in the spirit of today, please be upstanding for Hatikva. Kolot baleva penima nefesh Yehudi omiya ulvaten Israel kadima ayin letzion Sophia. Liotam chofshi